Becoming more popular, I believe. See, we're getting even previous generation.
Yeah, that's
Previous
amazing.
generation people.
That's great. But do you
Isn't that enough? That's not enough work. Can you receive it? Or can you report it without?
Yeah, recording now. Let me check last time. Can I check last time? I can record it.
I think you have the best seat in the house. I think you have the best seat in the house. It's amazing.
Everybody have their coffee and we're going to start.
Yeah. He's not the ordinary like us. Yeah, right. One day after us, he arrived on 24. He arrived on the 25. Johnny arrived on the 25th. He looked up. I went to Brazil. And then he arrived one day after us. He didn't work for Friday. But you know that now, someone told me yesterday, I was scared about it. People saying, yeah, you do something on Facebook. I said, oh my God. It was so easy. Now that people living, we had 1,000 cases there, 1,000 cases there.
Great. The dogs are here. Are you guys ready for the presentation too? Are you guys ready? Yeah.
Tripping over it.
Research, ordinary research. Why not? Unrequited research. Honest research. Long gone now.
All right, are we ready? Yay! Ready! It's amazing, amazing. So today we'll split it up in two parts because sometimes I get really carried away and I get so excited about all these topics. But today we really start back at the basics, and the first 45 minutes to an hour will explain, or I will explain how Bitcoin got started and what blockchain technology is. And the second hour I'll talk about wallets. Yeah, so you understand how wallets work, what they are and what they do, and how you can get started. But if you have any questions, please interrupt me. I just want to say that the crypto word of the day is hodl, hodl, hodl. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Hodl means actually hold. In the crypto world, it means hold. But somebody misspelled it once and then they adopted this word as hodl. And basically what it means is that, right, what happened in the last month is like, I'm sure you've seen it, that the crypto went up like crazy. And then it went down and people get like really concerned about their money. And the word of the day is then you need to hold on to it. Don't sell it. Never sell at a loss. Yeah, if you have crypto, it goes down, don't sell it. Unless something really bad happens, but don't sell and don't get scared. Nothing. Word of the day, hodl. So,
also means like hold on for dear life, right?
hold on for dear life all day. Very good, very good one. Very good one. So, I just wanted to make a statement of which I do always up front. I'm not a financial advisor. I do this because I got into crypto and I'm a crypto junkie after the first 4 months that I started studying it. I put like half of my life savings into it by now. And I do this because I want to share and explain what it is so you have a better understanding and better option to make decisions if you want to get into it or not. So I'm here to educate and I'm just sharing what I've learned. So I'm certainly not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor, but I understand how crypto works in general. And that's what I'm here to share. One tip right from the get-go, because people got also here on the island quite enthusiastic over the last month. Don't spend your grocery money on crypto and put in your last penny expecting that you're going to put something in the crypto world and taking it back out into the old fiat world. Yes? So use money that you can miss. Not to say that you're going to miss it in the sense that you're going to lose it, but there is risk associated to it. Yeah, so if you need money for bread and eggs, don't put it in crypto at the moment. Fiat money. I was preparing this slide yesterday. You go like, okay, so how do I explain fiat money and cryptocurrency? And then I searched on Google what the definition of fiat money is. And the funny thing is that I highlighted here, say, I started here with the crumbling banks, and these represent the current banks with fiat money. Yeah, all our accounts that they have in the current fiat currency, like the euros, the dollars, the Thai baht, whatever you have. But the funny thing is that fiat money does not have use value and has only value because the government give it value. Yeah, fiat money is government issue currency that isn't backed by any commodity such as gold. And then saying the disadvantages of fiat currency, the unlimited ability of governments to just print money, and this is exactly what's been happening this last year. Yeah, all these governments that have sent, they put stimulus packages together and just issue money. This is just paper. Although you can use it, but it will devaluate because they're printing so much, there's nothing behind it anymore. I always use this example of the US, printing checks after checks. The average American by now basically owes $100,000 out of their own pocket in order to cover the hole that was created in the last, 20, 25 years. So the debt that the US government has will probably never be repaid. Yeah, and it's now no different from all the European countries that are just printing money to keep something going, but it's all paper. It's just paper. Oh, then I have to say, like, this is a picture from me in Holland in 2010, where my mom drives an old Fiat. I'm sure the people that know a Fiat car out of Italy, yeah. She was driving a car and she said, "Edwin, what's that in your hand?" I said, "Oh, nothing, Mom. It's just a Bitcoin." I wish it was true.
Why is it called fiat money? Does it have any reference?
Who knows the abbreviation for fiat?
It's not for the car.
It's not for the car. No, it's called fiat money because to represent the overall currencies in the world. I don't know what it stands for, to be honest. I'll look it up for you. So, just to give you a starting point, so last week I was, I'm creating these slides to make you understand how much money is flowing into crypto. Now, in the last week, some has been flowing out, but in the last 4 weeks that I've been doing this, there's more than 300 billion US dollars that went from all the bank accounts that you and I own in the world into the crypto world. And this is making governments and banks and big institutions really uncomfortable. Because that means that if we take our fiat money and put it into crypto, then the banks cannot pay their bills anymore. They cannot use it for loans. They cannot use it for investments. So that's why governments and banks and big institutions are getting really nervous that this is going to take over the world. They realize it, and governments now trying to govern it and coming up with new regulations like the Stable Act in the US to try to, to put some control over it again. And they don't have it at the moment because there's no governance yet.
Sorry, ka. 7. Vivid. 7.
Very nice, no worries. So, so on this side you can see that last week it went over $1 trillion, and right now it's a little bit below it, but it's $1 trillion that has already moved to cryptocurrency. Now you think that that might be a lot of money, but it's basically the worth of a company like Apple. So it's only a drop on the plate of global economics, but it's a huge starting point, yeah, for the last 10 years of the evolution and the technology and everything that gets created in this new crypto world is really mind-boggling. And it's not only about Bitcoin, but I'll explain how that works. This is a site called CoinGecko, and you can find all the information. Most CoinGecko. I have a list that I can share with you later by email or by WhatsApp or like however, yeah. But this CoinGecko, basically you can see that how much money is into it. At the moment, Bitcoin is the biggest one because it was the starting point. It basically has 68% dominance, meaning all the money in crypto, 70%, nearly 70% of all that money is basically in Bitcoin at the moment. And you can see the number of coins. I call them digital assets because not all of them are coins, but they're like tokens. They're digital assets because they hold a digital value. And there's at the moment over, I think on the next slide I put it, over 6,100 different digital assets already. Yeah, so this was last night when I updated it, 6,160. So this means basically 6,160 different type of coins that you can buy that are digital, that have digital value in some way, shape or form. Buying season is coming. I don't know if you're already following it, but you know, in the last month or the last, since the beginning of December, it was like one steep run up, you know, and it's crazy. Some of these assets doubled in price. Bitcoin was at like, you know, $40,000. I mean, it's crazy. And then it took a nosedive, and people get really, they're like, oh my God, what about now? And that's the roller coaster ride in crypto still, while it is, you know, starting to stabilize. Like there's this FOMO chart. And you know, if I read people's responses on the chat that we send around, people get somewhere between, you know, denial and fear about, oh my God, what's going to happen? Yeah. But what you want to do is that if you're getting good at it, you want to buy it when it's here at the low point, and you want to sell it there. You know, don't do it the other way around, which seems very common because you get afraid that your money is disappearing. Yes. Look at some of the news flashes that are flying around on the internet, and why, you know, why it's becoming so big. And this is from the last week. You know, they're setting up like new mines in Texas, and mines meaning people that are into this crypto technology, and they're setting up warehouses full of computers to run these networks, and investing hundreds of millions of dollars to set up these new companies that basically support all these different networks. And what those networks are, I'll explain in a minute. You know, Morgan Stanley, one of the biggest, obviously, financial institutes, they recommend, you know, that Bitcoin is the new digital gold instead of the physical gold. You know, you're talking about the top US bank regulator in the US says that the banks can now start using those public blockchain like Bitcoin as new investment money. PayPal, you know, already smart because they know that they're, you know, they need to adapt. They will start going to cryptocurrency, so you can not only pay with your fiat money but also with cryptocurrencies. It's amazing, and that, you know, that signals that this is just not like a hoax anymore. This whole crypto world, it's real, and it's going to change, and it's going to change really fast. Yesterday I saw a chat because I follow a guy online every day, and this was already in the news like I think a year ago. They're now charging negative interest rates. Yes, meaning that if you have money in the bank, they'll charge you on your own money for keeping it in your freaking bank account, besides the fact that they're using your money to make more money. Yes? So it's the opposite of what it should be. What else? This was an announcement like 2 weeks ago, the US saying, oh, we're going to give every US citizen $2,000 for their grocery wallet, yeah, as a stimulus package. That means like that's 3 trillion worth of a statement like that. They listed it, that's the best Bitcoin advertising campaign you could have given us. Yeah, because that's exactly the reason why you want to get into crypto. Why crypto is going to be huge. This was a little cartoon about that crypto that stimulus package that says, okay, Billy, here's your stimulus check for $2,000. You need to buy, use it for rent and groceries. And Billy goes to the ATM machine and buys Ethereum, which is a cryptocurrency. Very funny stuff. But where does it come from? If you look quickly at the evolution of money, where we had cows and camels and eggs that we were, giving to each other as value, it then became like gold coins, and then became paper wallet. Everybody now has credit cards, and this is simply the next evolution of money, digital money. Yeah, nothing more but numbers, which credit cards in your bank account are already. Yeah, it's just numbers because you don't have the physical money in your wallet. So where does this all start? 2009, there was a group or an individual called Satoshi. They don't know, but it must have been a group because it is so intelligent what they have created. Is that out of Japan, is known as Satoshi, and they wanted to get away from banks and big institutions and governments controlling people like you and me. So they came up with a concept of creating a project called Bitcoin around 2009, and their purpose was to make a system that we can send money directly to each other, yeah, without a bank transaction. Significantly different, yes, because if I want to move my money from the US in the old world fiat, it's going to cost me $45 first to call my bank in the US. Then it will take a week or 10 days before I get it. It goes from the US to Europe to Switzerland to wherever before it will reach my bank account here. Yeah? And that means transaction fee, transaction fee, transaction fee, transaction fee. So you lose money on your own money all the time. This whole cryptocurrency world is based on peer-to-peer transactions. And computers take care of all the security. And no more institution, no banks have to be in between. How does that work? So normally you say to the bank, hey, take my money and send it to somebody else's bank account. They take your dollar and they give it to somebody else's bank account. Take one minus, one plus, and they write it into something called a ledger, which is basically your account book. Yeah? And they hold that book as part of their IT system and their data. And that's what we're paying them for, because they guarantee up to $100,000 that your money is safe in their bank. They keep it in their IT system. Nobody has access except for the bank. This is exactly what changed. This means that right now with Bitcoin or with the other cryptocurrencies, you can send it directly from one person to the other person. And that works with public ledgers. So that means that same bank book that now the bank holds for you and for everybody is public information. It's a public ledger, so it's out and available on the internet. That means that you can see whatever transaction we would do in cryptocurrency on the internet if you know the wallet address. And the wallet address is just a string of 265 or how many characters that is just under, it's not necessarily linked to you as a person. Yeah, it can be to an email address, but I'll talk about that in a minute as well. But it's basically, it's anonymous. Yes, so you have a new wallet, and that wallet address, if I have your wallet address, I can see how much money you keep in that specific wallet. But there's way that you deal with that, so it's very secure and it's anonymous. So how does that? So Bitcoin at the moment, when I wrote this like 6 weeks ago, was 22. Now it's, I don't know, was 34 this morning? 38 again. So it's going back up, and there's a huge chance that it's going up to 50 now. Why do I say that? I'm not the expert, but I follow some people online, and they really do a daily analysis about, the graphs and the trending, and they watch the news 24/7 in the world, and these people make analysis about why this can now break through. So it's either going to crash last night or it's not, and it seemed to be going up now quite fast. So the expectation is it will go to 50 this time and then stabilize again. Bitcoin. So this is mind-boggling if you think about it. So we don't need banks to do transactions anymore. Satoshi is still kept alive because, one Bitcoin is, the 34 or 38,000 euros, but it doesn't mean you need to have that kind of money to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy 1 trillionth piece of a Bitcoin. That means you can use it for $1 or $5 or whatever. Yeah, so you can buy a portion, a very small portion of a Bitcoin. Think about decentralized ledgers that I just talked about at a bank that keeps your bank book, and decentralized, the big word in this new crypto world and these blockchain technology projects is decentralized. What does that mean? That this information is not hosted on one computer or per se centralized at one bank or one data center, but it is spread over thousands of computers. I made a simplification of that with 5 computers, so you understand how this works. But in reality, these are thousands and hundreds of thousands of computers behind the Bitcoin network. And these computers in the network, they have different roles. You've probably heard of miners in Bitcoin. Yeah, miners are now companies that play a specific role, and their job is basically to create new blocks in the blockchain. That's what they do. Then there's nodes. So also a different role for a computer, and the nodes basically verify transactions. So they don't create the blocks, but they verify transactions if we send money to each other. The whole idea about this network and why it's so secure is that there's thousands of computers that all have a copy of that ledger. Yeah, and they look at this to see if this transaction is unique, and to make sure that you have unspent money in your wallet. And if that's the case, they go like check, 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 check. It's all valid, it's all okay. And as long as the majority of the computers in this network, so in this case 3 out of 5, verify that this transaction is valid and unique and has not been done before, they write it into a memory pool. So